Shut your goddamn mouths and listen up.
So hello all, welcome to my third Marines combat mission AAR. This mission is the Flank Guard, and in this mission the Marines have established a beachhead at the town of Himadaya, and now they are I have a Marine platoon that is out of patrol, expecting an enemy counter-attack. Yeah, the Syrians are trying to push my forces and Marines back off the beachhead. So if you look at the map in this mission, my guys it's not very deep. I remember one mission in the Task Force Thunder campaign, which was sort of a recon screening mission as well, where I ended up being assaulted by quite a heavy armor mechanized force. So these kinds of missions here, they make me weary. Yeah. So looking at the map, my guys have good overwatch, but if I'm going to be attacked, I don't want to be fired upon from multiple directions, because if you look at the opposing hill there, the enemy also has very good overwatch on my positions. So I'm just going to tell my platoon commander to move these machine gun teams into a slightly better position, and I'm going to prepare for an ambush, which means I'm going to give covered arcs out to about, what is that, 200 meters. When you're defending as the blue force, it can be very tempting to set your guys up in overwatch positions where you've got good range. But generally, when the Syrians attack, they're not going to attack you unless they have firepower to match. If you have your guys sitting out in the open like that, or if you have your guys sitting in good overwatch positions, they're going to be suppressed. You're going to take in far too much fire. So I find even with your superior range with blue, if you're going to be defending, it's better to go for reverse slope positions, like I'm sort of setting my guys up here. That way they can't take too much fire from the hill over the way there. And a reverse slope position is really ideal for defending with infantry. I'm just going to set up some covered arcs here for ambushing, splitting my squads up. As I mentioned in my last AAR, I much prefer to split squads up, because if one team gets suppressed, the others can still effectively fire. So just setting these guys up in defilade positions here. I don't have any vehicles at the moment, so the briefing did mention there might be armor or a mechanized force, which has me concerned greatly. So I'm just setting these guys up with overlapping covers of fire here. As you can see, the terrain here doesn't offer very good line of sight, which is actually in my advantage. I've got my S-More team as well split up. Basically, I'm going to have sort of a defilade reverse slope defense on either side of that hill in the middle, to find out where the enemy's main body of attack is going to be, and then I will shift my forces accordingly. I want to have some troops covering this this ASR through the AO here, because that looks like an ideal place for the enemy to try and break through. So I want to ambush them if they want to come down that route. As you can see, there's a bit of a dead ground for my troops here, so they can't effectively cover that entire area. So I'm going to move them over that side instead. This mission here, unlike the last mission, is actually pretty... This is a mission that you want to play in real-time mode instead of WeGo. When I first started playing Combat Mission, I pretty much stuck to WeGo for a few reasons. But I probably do like real-time overall. It just allows more granular control over your units to make up for the lack of the TAC AI, Tactical Artificial Intelligence, which has gotten a lot better, I must admit, as the games progress. One good thing about WeGo though is you can control multiple groups and coordinate multiple groups a lot easier, and also it does have a sort of more of a commander's feel about it, like you're sort of giving your units orders and letting them carry out your orders instead of micromanaging units on an individual level. Just trying to find the best positions for my guys here. The idea is to have them overlapping so they can support each other, but that's frustrated a little bit by the line of sight issues that I have. So as I said before, in reality, if you're going to be attacked, one of my preferred methods of defending is the defense in depth, especially since the briefing mentioned that wherever the main thrust of the counterattack comes from, we will be relieved. So it'll just be sort of like a delaying defense until reinforcements can get here. This map doesn't provide much in the way of depth to defend, and I definitely do not want to have my my troops too forward, especially near where that slope is, because they'll never be able to fall back. The enemy overlooks that entire area, so if they get overwhelmed, they'll be defeated in detail. So really my only choice of adequately defending this position is in the defilade position here, which is quite far back. As you can see, I got a forward observer there with no mortars. I expended all my ammunition in the last level, so that's not very good. So I'm going to get these guys to overlook the MSR of this map. Got reasonably good fields of fire over this area. But they're also overlooked upon by those enemy positions across the gully there where those buildings are. It's a bit of a trade-off. I'm going to move my machine gun position out of there, because here we'll just get way too many fires upon him if I keep him there. Definitely don't want my guys to shoot too early and give away their position, which is why I'm telling them to hide and give them covered arcs, which basically means ambush. It means that hide and then shoot anyone that comes into your covered arc. Especially useful for AT assets. I'm going to keep the platoon commander up on that ridge so he can have a good observation post, a good view of the battlefield. So again, no mortars, which would have come extremely handy in this mission. So I already have contact, which looks like it's a reconnaissance squad. And I immediately fire at my machine gun team. Having machine gunners in a building is a trade-off between firepower and survival. Oh, and look, there's artillery falling. There's artillery falling right where I had them. That tells me that the enemy has been observing my positions for a while and will be planning a deliberate attack on my positions. So with your machine gunners, having them inside buildings is a trade-off between firepower and protection. They can't deploy their weapons when they're inside a building, which means their rate of fire and accuracy is lower. But I just find that having them on rooftops and out in the open, they die very quickly, and they're a reasonably valuable asset. So I prefer protection over the marginal increase in accuracy and rate of fire. So we've got what looks like a probing attack from the enemy forces. Looks like and we've just spotted an ATGM. This looks like a probing attack from a scout platoon. In this scenario, those BDRMs are a bit of a threat, especially if they maintain an overwatch position back there. They're out of the range of my AT4s, which are horribly inaccurate. I really have no way of dealing with them. But I don't think that they can see my forces from there, which is to my advantage. We also have spotted the enemy forward observer as well, but I don't have any mortars to do anything about it. Well, if I did, I would have really liked to have taken out the ATGM and the enemy forward observer with mortars. Just preparing for this probing attack. The ATGM does concern me a little bit. It has potential to do quite a bit of damage to my troops. So it looks like the enemy's doing a probing attack up the middle. And up the middle is probably my weakest point, because there's quite a lot of dead ground that I'm not covering around where that small rise is where my platoon commander is standing. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to shift my forces to try and deal with this attack, this probing attack.